But let's get to it because I know with Zhilei Zhang, there's a lot of conversation about him now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had him written off.
Okay.
So what I want to do is like this is the disclaimer here. Mm-hmm. Number one, I'm gonna make some facts here. But I never wrote off Zhilei because I know where he comes from. And I know that it was only a matter of time before it showed up. Obviously, it's shown up now twice now against Joe Joyce. And I know that Tim Bradley had high praises for him after his fight. And it seems like you could be jumping on this bandwagon. And I just want to make it clear that that's expected from a man like that who comes from where he comes from. The rematch, like, what did you? What was you thinking? Because I know the first round was slow.
Yeah.
Second round,
the fight was over.
Second round was couple, big lefts that were landed. But then the third round, it was truly over in the third round.
I mean, yeah, Joe said he came in heavier than he has in his whole career.
After the fight, he said that?
Yeah, I think this was Joe. One of them came in. I think it was Joe came in heavier.
Okay.
It's levels to this. It's just he had power in both hands.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Legit
power in both hands. And I mean, when he hit Joe with the first big shot, it rocked it.
You know that's a 10-ounce glove he wearing?
What's that mean? Okay.
Like he showed the other night, he showed why they wear a 10-ounce glove. Yeah. Like we see power, and I'm not about to make it like we wear 8s, the 47.
I never knew that
was up to 147, where it's 8 ounce above 147. So if you're 148 pounds,
learn something
you wearing a 10-ounce glove.
Okay.
But you got some straight hitters like Deontay Wilder. But with D, you ain't have to look at his glove to know that he was gonna thump you. Dude. But with Zhilei, like the way he throws his punches and releases his punches with this sharpness, and then this pop at the end, it's like he reminded you like, oh yeah, this is why they have the heavyweights in 10-ounce gloves, because it's eventually what's supposed to happen happens. Yeah. You can't do that in a 16-ounce glove. You can't, unless you're Deontay Wilder, you can't do that in an 18-ounce glove. And that's why these men are wearing 10-ounce gloves, even though they're heavyweights, 250 plus, almost 300 pounds, because the way the boxing is designed is when I touch you, everybody's supposed to hear it. Everybody's supposed to get excited. Yeah. And eventually, when I clean you up with a hook, that's...
What do you think about that shot?
That right hook?
That was beautiful.
I looked at my son and said, Diggy, did you see that? He said, right. He said, yeah, I saw it. I said, you see the way he cleaned him up with it? Yeah, I saw it. I said, you ain't see him clean him up. He said, yeah, he did. Clean him up. I mean... That is how you finish with a right hook, or, a southpaw right hook. You come across the face and somebody goes down and they don't get up.
And Joe Joyce, for the most part, never been a power puncher. He's a great boxer. 1-2 jab. So when you get to that level, you got to carry power. Yeah. Being a great boxer only takes you so far in the heavyweight division. Let's be honest. Yeah. In other divisions, you may be able to get away with it, but the heavyweight division, you got to have that equalizer.
He calls himself the Juggernaut. And even in the X-Men movies and the series, you see where Juggernaut gets hit on top of the dome and he's done. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, his thing was, I can withstand you and eventually I will get you. And he has lived this Juggernaut
type wear and tear.
Yeah, type of style and fighting. And that's how a lot of his fights have gone. Yeah.
Dubois, I think he beat him, stopping him. Yeah.
But then there's Zhilei Zhang. And the thing with him is, and this is what I want to make clear, where you wrote off a man who has an amateur pedigree. Yeah. And now you see the difference
between... One loss, one draw.
But now you see the difference between a bronze medalist and I believe Joe's a silver medalist. But the difference there is Zhilei grew up doing this. He wasn't no heavyweight that decided to start boxing, and because he's big and strong and fast, he's going to beat you. And that's essentially what Joe Joyce has become. A amateur Olympian without the amateur pedigree from 8 years old until I turned pro. And that's the difference there. Zhilei, at a young age, acquired the speed, acquired the fluidity that you don't see a lot of professionals have at heavyweight. You know what I mean? A lot that you see from Tyson Fury, another fighter who has a deep amateur pedigree. Guys who learn how to do all this kind of stuff, then when they get the size, they still have that style and that finesse. Jared Anderson. That's why I'm so high on Jared Anderson. You already know that I'm high on boxers with amateur pedigrees, with deep amateur backgrounds, with deep amateur experience. Because even though you got 20 losses, you still got 20 experiences that help you build and become who you become.
Yeah, and experience matters everywhere in life.
And like you said, once you get to a certain level, it ain't just about power. It ain't just about speed. It ain't just about being a southpaw. And now you see the difference between the two. The size. Joe Joyce he's always beat down his guys. Now he's in the ring with somebody just as big as him. I think they both 6'6". 6'6". Both 6'6", wingspan just the same. Now there's something. What else is going to separate you from the biggest? Yeah, this guy right here, Zhilei, can move, can go to the body, can got speed and power, as we can see. You know what I mean? And that's why the amateur background, the amateur boxing is so important. You got to check these guys out. They'll be fighting in Paris, France, next year in the Olympic Games. Who you see there will be who you see with their hand up, and one of them be on the canvas in a good 8 to 10 to 12 years. Yeah. And that's the thing about Zhilei is, even though he was he was an Olympian and all these other things, as he turned pro, his growth just wasn't the same as other guys. And that's why he was written off, because when you don't see somebody moving at that same capacity and level as you see other guys moving in, it's like, well, you know, and then he took an early loss, and it's like, oh, he's not who we thought he was. No, it just took him a little while longer to get there. It was just or was it a loss or was it a draw?
He took a loss, but that was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't early.
Well, no, that
But
wasn't.
and boxing, one loss affects everything.
Excuse me, yeah. So early in his career was a little topsy-turvy.
Because he's 40 years old.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he took the loss last year. And it's like, he's gone. And it's like, no, I just took a little while longer for me to mature. And that's what I always like to say. He's 40 years old? He's 40 years old?
That's what it says.
And as a professional boxer at 40 years old as a heavyweight, you could possibly be in your prime and rearing the end of your prime at 40.
Yeah.
Because a 40 for heavyweight is more like 35 to 30 to 35 for welterweight or something like that. The prime is just different for the heavyweights because they grow faster.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it takes everything else time to catch up. I truly do think that time is caught up, or he's caught up to the time. Time caught up to him.
To Joe Joyce?
No. For Zhilei.
So he got to. What you think? He got to go now?
It's time for him to go.
Title shot.
It's time for him to go now.
Title eliminator.
Absolutely.
He's WBO interim champion right now. Shout out to our boy Larry out of Cleveland. Larry Drum. Yeah, he said, Antt, what do you think? Deontay Wilder versus Big Bane, Jared Anderson versus Big Bane. I felt with Jared, give him a couple more fights. But that's something I would like down the line for Jared.
Yeah.
Wilder, he'll get Wilder problems until he won't. The equalizer, I just think Wilder. But I think he'll get Wilder problems till he won't. Till he tries to close the distance. That's when Wilder hits him with the big right hand. I think that'll be all she wrote. But that's two fights I'd like to see. But then I told Larry one I would love to see is actually Anthony Joshua. I think that was the most interesting one for him next. The Anthony Joshua match. I feel
most interesting one for Zhilei or for both?
Yeah, for both.
For both of them.
What about a Luis Ortiz matchup?
No.
Okay.
Why would you put a 40-year-old with a 50-year-old?
Battle of the grandpas. I don't know.
But that's a good fight. Andy Ruiz. He might be a little big.
I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about Andy. You know, a lot of the things that were said about Teofimo Lopez, you could be saying those same things. You could be saying those same things about Andy Ruiz.
Until he shows us different.
Until he shows us different. I mean, there's no secret to some of the things he's been through outside of the ring.
Yeah,
all this stuff shows up in the ring. You know what I mean? And let's say You are a Jamal Charlo who's going to put boxing to the side to handle the personal. How long is it going to take you to handle the personal before you can get back to even the gym? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because again, like this is what's different from other sports. You know, basketball, you just go to the court and when you're done shooting around or you don't want to play no more D, you say, all right, y'all, I'm good for the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? You take that personal stuff to the gym, you sparring, you liable to get embarrassed, you know? You liable to get hurt, you know? So a lot of the things that we have been saying about T.O. and Jamal, we've been saying some things about those guys. We could be saying the same things about Andy, you know, unfortunately, you know?
Yeah, I want to see Andy back in the ring. Hey, I actually like Andy. Yeah. Actually, like I've been rocking with him ever since he won me all this money versus Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. I think heavyweight is probably the weight class that you cannot afford to sit out / sit around. You know, look at Deontay Wilder. I caught up with his coach the couple weeks ago, and they're still working. They ain't actually been fighting, but they're still working. You know what I mean? So he's not on the couch getting stale. Not to say that Andy's on the couch, but you know, there's no rumors of him training, getting ready for a fight or anything like that. You know, so. Coming off the couch, for the sake of words, getting in the ring with Zhilei, with Big Bang. That's tough, man, because Big Bang is a southpaw. He's big, he's rangy, he knows how to use it.
And he bang.
He ain't afraid, so he can go to the body and the head, he gonna bang. You know what I mean?
I love that name.
Yeah. I think more realistic is a Jared Anderson down the line because they're both top rank.
Bingo.
We know how that goes. I think that's a more realistic conversation to have.
Yeah.
I think it's too soon for both of them, to be honest with you.
Big Bang got to go, though.
He got to go.
He got to go.
He got to go.
Jared can wait it out and do what he got to do.
Yeah, he got to go.
Yeah, well, it's time to see him up there with the Eliminator, Daniel Dubois.